Welcome to That's a Thing, a series I started to focus on things that I see on the internet and social media, and I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it. Today's That's a Thing can probably also fit into my other series called Look at That. Since this is a look, more of a hair look than a fashion look, but the reason why I chose it under That's the Thing is one, I only like to have one series post a month. Like I instead of doing 2 or 3 ingredient dives, I decided to do one a month. And the same thing with look at that. So I thought I would put this under That's a Thing. And yes, I'm going to emphasize each one because one has an exclamation point and That's a Thing has a question mark. Today's episode is about something you might be familiar with. If you ever grew up watching I Love Lucy like I did, then you're very familiar with Lucy's hairstyle. That was called the Poodle. I follow like rockabilly, like the pinup style, 1940s, 1950s. It's just something I really enjoy. And I like to see the looks and follow the people that are in it just because it's fun. And it's just maddening to see some people just pile their hair all the way on the top of their heads and call it a poodle. And it's actually, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but it's actually not correct. Lucille Ball had her hair cut specifically for that style, where it was kind of like a mullet, where it was short on the sides, shorter on top, and long in the back. So I did the video earlier to get me to this point, if you can see. And of course, I threw on some red lipstick because what's a 1950s Lucy look without her signature red lips? So enjoy my tutorial on how to do a poodle for people with long hair because I don't have short hair. It's all in the curler size you use and how you fluff out your curls. So sit back and enjoy it.
This is the magazine cover that I will be using as my reference because it gave the best example of Lucy's hairstyle. I sectioned off the front in a bit of a triangle. The front roller is going forward and the rest of the rollers go back. For the sides, I sectioned just behind my ear, and using big rollers, I rolled them in 3 rollers going downwards. For the rest of the hair, I just rolled it in pink rollers and rolled them going down. Okay, so I'm going to get started by removing all of my rollers only for the back section. This is the first section that I'm going to work with. Once all of the rollers are removed, I'm going to just use my fingers to kind of break up any track sections that might be in my scalp. And I am not going to take a brush to these because I do want them to be as tight and curly as possible. So again, just using your fingers, start to gently separate your curls. To help with frizz reduction, as well as hold the curls, you may want to use a pomade to work into the curls. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working in a little bit of pomade in each section of my curls, just so that they would look nice when they were separated and keep their shape. Once you got that all worked in, you get the back section just at the nape of the neck. And on both sides, you're going to split that section of hair. And each side is going to go up and kind of create like a ponytail effect. Beginning on the left side of my head, I pull up that one section that I just separated from the other side at the nape of my neck, and I am placing it on my head just like in between my ear and the middle of my head. Of course, you got to use some pomade to smooth down some flyaways and keep that section nice and smooth. It's bobby pin time. This is where I'm getting that section that I just pulled up and I am cross pinning that section to my head. Once that side is done, I move over to the other side and do the exact same thing I did on my left side here on my right side. I used bobby pins to secure this look, but you could actually use barrettes or any nice hair clips that you have in place of the bobby pins. Now that I have the back section up, I'm going to put focus on the top section of that back section, if that makes sense. For that very top section of the fake ponytail, I just kind of pulled it together, and then you'll see that I clip it up at the top as well. And I wouldn't worry about the bobby pins because that will be covered by the rest of the hair that will be up there in that poodle section. You'll see what I mean later. But you'll see I'm just working here with that top section, just kind of molding it so that the rest of the hair that's in that top section falls down into that like little poodle ponytail, whatever you want to call it. That top section is pretty much done, and now I'm going to tackle the back section to make it look a little bit more molded and refined into that poodle look. Here I'm demonstrating what I'm going to do to the rest of that section to secure it. So I roll it under and I'm going to pin that part to the nape of my neck. That way it's more of a molded ponytail, if that makes sense, and it won't move and the curl will not come out. Once I'm done pinning that section in the back to my head, I feel around for any loose curls and just kind of push them back into their place where I think they belong. Now I'm going to remove the side rollers from both sides of my hair so that I can work on the side sections next. Now that those rollers are removed, I am going to slightly, with my tweezing comb, tease the side sections just so that there aren't any like roller marks or like what we call track marks in the hair. And once again, I'm going to work in some pomade on the sides of my hair, maybe a little bit at the ends, but mainly towards the sides just so it would be smooth. Now I'm just going to gently brush the sides without touching those curls, just so I could smooth out the sides. I just wanted a little bit of height or volume at the top, and then I'm going to pin that as close as I can to the other parts that I pinned, just so that it stays a little bit more even. Once that side is finished, I'm going to do the same thing on my other side. Now that those sides are done, I am going to spritz my hair just so that it'll help to put it in place, keep it in place, and help with those flyaways that you see I have trouble with. I always have trouble with flyaways. Now that the back and the sides are done, I'm going to take the rollers out from the front section. Starting with the ones that are in the furthest back, I unwind them, working my way towards the front. Now that those are out, time to work on that final section, which is probably the most important section. Just like I did with all the other sections, I work in the pomade, making sure to separate the curls with my fingers. You do not want to put a brush to these curls. I tried setting the top in as small rollers as I could, just so I could get a super tight curl in the top. You really want to be patient with this section since you're not brushing through it and you're only using your fingers to work through it. You want to separate the curls and try to put them in their place that you think looks right. And so it's going to take a while. This took me actually a lot longer than you see here, but it's totally worth it, trust me. Because my hair isn't super short like it would be in the traditional cut, it did take me a lot longer to try to get this look set, but I just continue to play with it and kind of work it to match the top to fill in with the back and the sides that are up in that like poodle tail or whatever. And just continue working and trying to mold your curls into the shape that you want to where it's one cohesive poodle look. You notice that I'm playing with my bangs a lot, and that's because one, I have a short forehead, so anything that's too forward on my face just makes my face look even shorter and rounder. So you'll notice I'm like tucking the bangs in just to make sure that it's under and high enough to where it doesn't make my face look shorter or rounder. I'm just playing around with the top to make sure that it blends along with that back pony section as well. I don't want to have any gaps. I wanted it to look as put together, like I said earlier, cohesive, to where it just looks like one tail, ponytail, or poodle ear. I don't know what to say. And I think I did everything well, so here is spray time. I couldn't tell at the time about the tracks on the top, but I actually took care of that after. But when you're done, spray it and make sure it is in the shape that you're looking for. Again, you want to make sure you have everything the way you want it to be, and there's nothing wrong with playing around with it just to making sure that it is all uniform and there's no stray curls or stray hairs coming out. And there you go. If you do find that there are extra hairs just sticking out, you can always like try to curl them with your fingers and kind of press it back into the pony, or if it's really bad, you can always pin it. There you go. That's pretty much my final look. What do you think? Did I do the poodle well? Does it remind you of Lucy? I don't know. I really liked it. It was fun to wear it that day, and I asked my husband and he was like, hey, that looks like the I Love Lucy hairstyle. So mission accomplished.
Thank you so much for watching that tutorial of the poodle look. Is it something that you're interested? Have you ever heard of the poodle? Like I said, if you're used to watching I Love Lucy, then you're very familiar with Lucy's poodle hairstyle. So that was my interpretation. I did tease the sides, as you saw in the tutorial, but typically you would want to pull it back, and she had more of a like a wave to it on the side, but I just teased it and added a little bit more here just so it would add more height to my head. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and be blessed. Bye.